Okay, let's do it.
Right, we are recording. Hello, Eddie Judd.
Oh,
I've got into my Zoom voice.
I know. I'll put my posh voice on.
Yeah, you
just
do your podcast voice.
That's as posh as it goes.
Okay, well, I'd like to welcome Eddie Judd to today's.
You're already posh.
Where we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? We're talking about pages,
Yes.
aren't we?
Yes,
Because
we are.
so everybody knows this anyway, but Eddie is a photographer and we've worked together a few times now, haven't we? And
Yes.
you came to me earlier this year to help you write your about page. So I just thought it would be interesting, a little chat about that, about what made you get in touch with me in the first place, and then perhaps a little bit more broadly about the perils and pitfalls of about pages, and in terms of sort of the wider personal branding context as well. Why we think people struggle with them. So so what made you, because you have a lovely website, you have loads of great photography on it. What particularly about the about page was doing your nut in?
Well, I hadn't really touched it, I'd say, for about 6 or 7 years. And about me pages then you didn't really have to put a lot of personality into it. I kind of had to explain what I was and what I did. But really, apart from that, I didn't really have to expand on who I was as a person. While photography industry has grown exponentially over those last few years, so I felt like it really wasn't in line with other great photographers, and it showing who I am as a person, and that's almost my USP. Who I am as a person is why people book me. So
absolutely right.
I have to get that across. And I'm okay at writing, but I have quite high standards. So that's one of the reasons that I got in touch with you.
Yeah, and I think you've got right to the heart of the issue there, which for me is about personality. And I think what I see a lot of, especially in creative people like photographers or designers or anybody that florists, whatever, where they're putting their craft out there and where they are a large part of their brand. I find that that there's possibly a little bit of confusion around this idea of your story, because you hear a lot of talk, don't you, about what's my story, and I think that's kind of got a little bit warped in terms of people thinking that it means your life story, and that you've got to find something relevant, or you've got to demonstrate the steps that got you here today. And I think that's possibly where a lot of people go wrong with their about pages, because actually that's not, sometimes that's interesting and sometimes that's relevant, but it isn't always what we mean.
I agree. It used to be, yes, I need to show how I trained in photography, and I've got training, and I had this job and I had this job, and it's led me onto what I can do today. And I don't think that you need to do that anymore. I think that you need to show exactly who you are and sell yourself. And it's really hard to try and sell yourself as a person.
It is hard.
And somebody like you to come in and go, right, okay, here's the questionnaire that you sent me, and then it made me go, oh, I like this and I like this, writing all these things down, and then you put it together and I'm like, oh my god, that actually is me. So
it's like the best version of
I loved
me.
it. And I without doubt, one of the reasons that I chose you is because you've got a sense of humor. So and I wanted it to be funny. So
that's so interesting,
I liked
it had to be in there, the humor for you, didn't it? It had to
be. It did, because I'm obviously hilarious. You
were a bright laugh. And that's so true. And actually it's lovely for me to be able to exercise my rather silly humor as well through my client work. So I can't always do that, but again, that's a really important point, that I think sometimes when people try to write about themselves, you've sort of got this thing in the back of your head of what you should be saying or what you should be writing or what makes good brand writing. And actually what ends up happening is everyone ends up saying the same thing, whether that's on an about page or any other page. You know, you see this as well so much, don't you? Everyone's saying the same blooming thing. And what is so beautiful about human beings is that we are not all the same. We do genuinely all have different personalities. And so that would be also my advice to anyone wrangling with their own about page. And, you know, if you're working on it now and you're struggling with it, it would be to think, okay, so just chill and just try and be yourself, because
just totally be yourself,
because that's what's going to shine through. And as you say, that's ultimately you know, what people are going to book you for, isn't it?
And then exactly. And then what I did is I then showed some just Instagram pictures of me with my family, or things that I like to do to then build on that personality. So those two things together, and you know, worked really, really well. So obviously I have my professional picture, and then I showed a little bit more personality through a few like personal Instagrams. So it's great to have a page which isn't just a profile picture and the words. It's great to show you doing different things. So you know, whether that's comes through a personal branding shoot or you know, a few personal Instagrams yourself. So you know, and obviously you wrote my personal branding page copy for me as well.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, which was just amazing. So you know, you just nailed that as well.
Well, it's interesting, thank you for saying so. It's interesting that personal branding and the, you know, the conversation about writing about yourself is probably, it's a similar process to what you do with people when you're doing personal branding photography, isn't it? So again, they may come to you with the similar sort of anxieties or similar sort of blocks to their true personality. So do you find that, again, it's your job to make sure that if they come to you saying, I want to look like this because they've seen something on Instagram, you would steer them into saying, no, actually, I think this is more you? Is that how you work?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's very similar. It's like sending a questionnaire, finding out what they like, their thoughts, and really getting to know them as a person. And then you know, you show that personality through the images, and then that reflects on the kind of business ethos that they're giving out, and that helps to get the ideal client. So it's all about that, about who your person.
I think we went a little bit wibbly wobbly there for a minute. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, I can hear you.
I mean, who knows what you were saying?
Who knows? I think yes, I was saying, that hopefully recorded, but I was saying that, you know, actually getting personality through pictures and words is really, really important.
Well, that's going to be the perfect about page, isn't it? Ultimately, I suppose, if you've got photography that reflects who you really are, and words that, you know, really sing out your true personality.
And then I even forgot what I just said, and then I said that it's all about getting your ideal client, and you can't get your ideal client without selling yourself and showing yourself. So you know,
which, as you said earlier, is hard. And in the same way that when I've worked with you and you've photographed me, you've pulled me out of my comfort zone. Again, you know, that is what I would also try to do, you know, in writing, is pull people out of their comfort zone and allow them. You're right, it's so hard to do that for yourself, because it's hard to write about yourself, you know, with a completely open heart. But
absolutely, and you probably get the same thing, people going, oh, I just can't write, I'm really bad writer. And I have the people going, oh, I really hate having my picture taken. So it's our job to go, well, actually, you know, just give me a chance, and actually you probably won't find this experience so bad.
Exactly.
I'll make you look fabulous, I'll make you sound fabulous, and you know, you're going to get those clients.
That's it,
because people are going to identify with you, and that's the most important thing, you know, getting your visibility perfect so that you get those clients that you really want.
That's it.
I think I got all shouty and passionate about it.
Yes, that's good. No, well, I'm nervous about my internet connection, but I think that's probably a beautiful place to wrap it up, because I think you've just
typical
summed it
Zoom,
up.
isn't it? Don't we just love it? You're like, are you there? Hello? Are you there?
Can't hear you. Yeah. So it's lovely to
Okay,
see
I'm going
you.
to end it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
And you.
gonna smash that stop button. And thank you so much for coming to
That's
chat
a
with me.
pleasure.
It's lovely
Thank
to
you.
see you. Pleasure. And
And
I'll
you.
catch up with you soon.
Yes,
Bye
see you soon.
now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.